Hey guys, Jeremy. I've been over here cleaning on this car with a wire wheel. Starting to get that cleaned up. That cross member looks great. Frame rails look really pretty good. This back here, we got some pinholes. That piece I was going to try to save. I might just cut a patch and fix it right there. The rest of it looks pretty good, except for that. Of course, this down here all needs to be gone. But anyway, that's a start on it. That's a dirty job. I've had my fill of it for today, so I'm gonna go home, get a shower. Call this good for now. So probably something I should have done outside during the summer. But anyway, this garage is just a dust bowl. I probably should open the door. Anyway, I'm out of here for now, guys. I'm probably about half done with that. I get back in there maybe tomorrow afternoon or the next day. Thought that guy was gonna pull out in front of me. I get back in there tomorrow or the next day. I think I'm gonna open that door and put a fan in there with it just blowing out. I didn't realize how dusty that garage was until I stepped back away from it. I just cut me a piece. I'm gonna try to get it cut out and fit it in here and just repair this section right here. And then that vertical piece will all be good, and then we'll get down in here and replace some more. I took the bolt out of the foot on this brace. I think I could lift it up maybe and slide my patch under it, but something's holding it down. I'm not too sure it's not spot welded. I kind of think it is. I might just weld this crack shut, put new metal around this, and then just weld the whole thing in. I don't see where I'd ever be taking them bolts out anyway. And then just do the same thing over here. Just get it solid and just weld it solid, I'm thinking. And these are good here on the outside, so there's nothing to do to them there. But right now, I'm gonna get this piece bent around and see if I can get it fitted in there, and then we'll just start taking care of some of these patches, I think. I was gonna do the flat, big part of the trunk first, but it's real handy for me to get in there and stand. I might do that last just so I got better access from the other side to weld all this up. I can turn around and stand in there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna start right here and get this mess here kind of fixed up. So gotta start somewhere, right guys? Just clamp my piece of metal in there with a pipe nipple and see if I can just bend it around it here. All right, you might can see that's laying in there pretty nice. I might just have to notch around that foot. I'll get it cut out and see if I can slide it under. If I can't, I might just have to kind of trace around that. But for right now, let me kind of trace out this bad area. gonna trace it about right there, I think. All right, that had a piece of rubber under here. It's a body mount. That's still a good piece of rubber. I'm just gonna reuse it, get a new bolt in there. Right now, I'm gonna get that corner notched out, get this piece fitted in there so I can start welding it in. I cut a little too far here. I'm gonna have to weld it back shut. I went to my first line, and then I end up making my patch smaller because I got to thinking all that was okay. But no big deal, I'll weld that shut. So let me get this notched out and we'll see how it fits. All right, I got that piece pretty much welded in there. Gotta weld a few pinholes and do a little more grinding on it, but my camera went dead as I was doing that, so I wasn't able to film it. Came over here this morning. I cut out another patch here. I still got to get back in the corners to get that area cleaned up. I got this little wheel I think I can get back in there with, and then I got a patch cut for that. I want to say thank you to my mom for a great Thanksgiving dinner yesterday, and tomorrow we're going to be doing it all over again at our place. So 2 big dinners. As I walk outside this morning getting the trash out and stuff, I'm cold. I get in the truck and the thermometer in there says 29 degrees. I'm like, that's why I'm cold, I guess. But they're saying we could have 1 or 2 inches of snow tonight. It'd be the first snow of the year. I don't like snow. Don't like cold. But I'm in a warm garage, so I'm happy for now. Get back on this. Got that pretty well cleaned up around there. Let me get in here and I'll show you. I got it all cut out where I wanted. I tell you, some days I feel like Ray Charles out here trying to do stuff. These damn trifocal glasses, you got to get your head just right. Can't see. I'll have to weld that back up, but no big deal. When you're cutting these patches out, if your grinder goes right through like butter, you're still in bad metal. You can usually tell when you got something pretty solid. One good way to tell, I just cleaned this up around the edges with a 40 grit flapper wheel. Now, those are pretty aggressive. If you've got bad metal there, that 40 grit flapper wheel is just gonna go right through it. So if you're able to clean up around your edges with your grinder and your 40 grit and it doesn't go through, you're probably good enough to weld. If that burns right through it, you need a bigger patch. But anyway, let's see if we can get this just tacked in here for now. I want to kind of conserve on my MIG welder gas for the weekend so I can get a little further, and then I'll just weld everything solid when I get a new tank. Got a pinhole right there. I take a flashlight and go behind them and then look through, try to fill up all the pinholes I see. And these will all get coated with a little bit of thin skimmer of Duraglass anyway. And then we'll just coat it with the POR 15. All right, guys, I've been working away. I got this piece put in here. I just kind of bent that in a vise to make that curve. There was a pinhole back here. Rather than cut a patch for it, I was able to just weld it shut. The metal was pretty thick around it. So this side here is pretty well done. The inner fender's all good. This piece is all good. I dug out the rest of that seam sealer. I'll scrape that out just a little better, but clean this up a little bit. I'm thinking that's pretty well done on this side. I got one of those carbide tips on a grinder a die grinder, I get in here and get this bottom weld. I can't get a wheel down in there. And I can't find that other grinder at the moment. Might be over at my place. This lip is rusty along the edge up here where I'm going to be welding that new floor. I really don't need that much hanging over, so I'm going to cut it along this line. Also cut this off right at that line too. I don't see why I need that. And just take it all the way down. This side here ain't too bad, but we'll just make it even all the way across. So I think we'll cut that off. We got a few little patches to make here. I don't know about this side. I welded a patch there a long time ago, or last year. I think the rest of it's pretty good. That's just a couple small ones there. I got this piece all cut off, just a jagged edge. Wasn't really necessary to what I'm doing, but it looks cleaner and it'll look better now if you're ever looking from underneath the car. Started fitting a patch for back here. I just been scribing it along the contour. Right now, you see where my black marker marks are. I'm just going to take a flapper wheel and start grinding on those, and then set it in there again, see if it's any closer. You can see there now that's getting to be a pretty good fit. I think I'm just going to clean it up a little bit, trace it, cut out the bad piece, and start tacking that in there. I think if I took this corner off right here, I might get it a little tighter right there. It's hitting here before it is down low. Just kind of scribed a line up in that corner right there. I'm going to grind that off and see if it fits just a little better. It was just about good enough, but let's see if we can get a little bit better. I'm looking at the overall size of my patch now. I got all this contoured right so it fits in good along the inner fender and the front roll pan thing. I'm looking at the overall size of it now, deciding if I need it to be this big or if I can cut it down. And I think I'm just going to put this whole piece in. I might could cut it a little smaller, but it's not going to make too much of a difference on on the amount of work I gotta do. So I think I'm just gonna trace out this whole thing. Okay, that's what that's gonna end up being. This here was probably solid enough to weld back in here, but it's pitted real bad. I'm just gonna put the whole thing in. This up here is pretty good. All this lower part's coming out anyway. So I think after we get that in, we'll have to look, but we're getting pretty close on this upper corners in this front part. Then the whole bottom, I'm just gonna cut that whole thing out. But let me see if I can get that cut out of there. Standing outside the car trying to do that, it's got me holding my grinder backwards. I'm standing up inside the trunk right now. If I can reach this much easier, you know, like this. It was really putting me in an awkward position. And this is precisely why I decided to leave the big section of trunk out until I got this fixed. Like all this back in here is just, heck, it's like working on a tabletop, you know, standing here. Got that piece started there. It's gonna fit in there really good. I got a little bit of tweaking to do on it, but that's gonna be real nice. Then I'll just make a patch and go up this inner fender right here. That's underneath the outer fender. That would be easiest to fix right if I was to ever take the fender off the car, because then it would be right in front of me. In order to fix it now, part of it's below the trunk floor, part of it's above. I think what I'm gonna do is patch it up the best I can from the inside for now. And if we ever take the fender off the car, I'll get in there and do it from the outside as well. And it might even end up being double thick right there, but that's okay. But I'll get something in there for now, so we got the trunk floor done. And then and if we have to, we can get back to that at a later date. But that doesn't do anything. It just kind of hangs down there like a skirt. You know, like right here. It's just like a skirt that hangs down the trunk floor to be clear up here. So that's just kind of excess metal. So as long as I get it fixed in here, I'm good with that. But let me go ahead and start fitting this piece in there. Maybe get some tacks on it. I don't know if I showed it or not. I got that patch completely welded in. Both of these ones over here are. Just made this one to go there, and I don't know. In describing this trunk, I guess we could say upper, lower, and midsection. This should be our last patch in the midsection. And then I think the upper will go pretty good, the big flat piece. Hope it does. And we'll have it all done but the lower section. So, finish this cigarette. I'm gonna try to get this one tacked in here. Yeah, I got that last patch welded in. I think the last thing I'm gonna do here today before I go home, this is Friday, by the way, I'm gonna start tacking this in, just so it's, my MIG welder's about out of gas. I'd like to have this nice and flush across there. If I come out here over the weekend and don't have any gas, maybe I can fit this big panel, but I'd like to have that down. So see if we can finish that real quick. Oh, I need a better ground. All right, guys, I got this side here all patched up. Got that patch in there, back in that corner there. I got that all tacked along the angle iron. I think that's about as far as I'm gonna get today. I think the next trip over, I'm gonna take these off, finish cleaning the tops of this stuff, and then get it coated with the PR15, and then probably bead roll that panel. Getting more and more solid all the time, so. I'm pretty happy with everything. Everything's got like a layer of dust on it right now. You can't see it very good, but I'll get it cleaned up and get you guys a better shot of this tomorrow if I get a chance. Anyway, it's gonna do it for today. Carol just tells me this morning that we've canceled Thanksgiving dinner for this afternoon because half of our family members are sick. And I'm on my way to town now to grab some medicine for them so they can maybe get to feeling better. But anyway, no Thanksgiving dinner today, but I'm sure we'll eat something good, you know. But as it all turns out, I don't think I'm gonna go over and work on Eliza anymore today, so I'm gonna post what footage I've got so you guys can see that. And we'll see what happens for next week's video, maybe even a midweek video. We'll see how it goes. My schedule ain't real busy, at least so far. I had an emergency furnace call to go on yesterday. I was working on Eliza at the time and had to take a break from it and go get a furnace started up and running that time of year, you know. And one more thing I was going to mention is, I don't know, many months ago, I think it was early last spring, I showed that old 1948 Ford four-door sedan. I don't really want that car. I don't know what I would do with it. if I was going to have another project, I'd just soon it not be that one, you know. But I can get that thing now basically for free. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I thought about trying to chop the top off of it, making some kind of convertible out of it, or I don't know, or just get it and part it out, throw it away. Maybe do a little bit to it and try to get a visual out of it. It's hard to look at that car and see any potential in it. Maybe try to get a visual and then see if it's worth continuing on. I don't know. I got some ideas in my head, but it's all a lot of work, and if I was going to put that much work into something, do I want it to be that, you know? But it's free. But it won't be free if I start spending money on it. So anyway, I don't know what to do with that yet. But we'll go over and take a better look at it, and I'll make a decision. Anyway, guys, thanks for following along. Thanks for all my subscribers, new and old. I know a lot of you guys have been with me forever now. Well, not forever. We've only been going for a year, but it seems like forever, right? But please like, comment, share, all them things. This is Jeremy. We'll catch you on the next one. Later, guys.